What's up, guys? My name's Captain Dave and welcome back to the Captain's Quarters, the video in which I go through and answer all of your questions and comments from last time's video. Been a while since I've last done one of these, isn't it? How are you all doing? Are you good? I'm good. Are you good? Good. I was going to go ahead and assume you all said yes to that question unanimously in like one big uproar. Because obviously I can't hear you. But yeah, it's been a while, as is the norm, with doing these Captain's Quarters. But what have I been up to? As most of you guys will know, I was sort of cramming hard, trying to get all my coursework finished for university. But that is done and dusted, as is evident by the fact you're listening to this video right now. And also the Spider-Man walkthrough. So I'm back in the swing of things, pardon the Spider-Man pun. I can't help it, I talk about Spider-Man and saying into the swing of things just comes out my mouth every single time. I don't know why, I just can't seem to help myself. But how are you finding Spider-Man? You liking Spider-Man so far? I personally think it's a nice little game. I don't think all games always have to be outstanding blockbusters. Sometimes they can just be a nice simple game and it just hits that sweet spot. And I think Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just that. Personally, I love the little game. It's not like best game ever. I wouldn't even say it's my favourite game, but as of doing this walkthrough, it's the third time now that I've played it, and I'm not sick of it in the slightest. Most games, by the time I'm halfway through doing the walkthrough, or near the end of the walkthrough, I'm kind of getting a little bored of it. But Spider-Man, I could easily see myself playing it again once I've done the walkthrough. So, very, very much enjoying it. Much like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 film as well, which I think someone asked me later, so I might as well delve into this. Delve into it? I might as well delve into it a little bit now, since I think someone asked me this question later on anyway. But Amazing Spider-Man 2, loved it. Absolutely loved that film. I thought it was just, I thought Amazing Spider-Man was like the Spider-Man film they needed to make. I thought that was so good and it just hit the mark. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I wouldn't say better, I'd say it's just as good. It was better in other ways, like, in a sense, the enemies, I guess, because it was more about Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man, yeah, the Kirk Connors and everything else, I know. But in this one, I felt it was more about him actually being Spider-Man and and as they always tend to do in the second Spider-Man film, the relationship between Peter Parker and Spider-Man and how he can't live both lives and blah, 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 blah. And then eventually he does and whatever. But I just thought it just hit that mark again, and I think Mark Webb, awesome name by the way, seeing how he's doing the Spider-Man films, but I think he's yet again done another great job. Absolutely loved that film. I think it's good. I think when it comes down to it, there's always a split divide over who does and who doesn't like it, and I think you're either going to be a Sam Raimi guy and like the first three Spider-Men, or you're going to be a Mark Webb guy who likes the Amazing Spider-Man. It tends to be the majority of the people who read Spider-Man comics long before the film tend to enjoy the Mark Webb Amazing Spider-Man more than people who maybe got into the franchise because of the Spider-Man films, or maybe they've only just seen comics, just seen cartoons even, and then they tend to like the Sam Raimi ones. But I mean, that's a bit of a sweeping statement. That doesn't mean everyone likes that. I mean, there are obviously going to be differences, but that's just what I found from my experience anyway. But yeah, kind of going a bit off topic, but Amazing Spider-Man 2, definitely loved it. And I know somebody else also answered this question later on, so seeing how we're talking about films, I might as well sidetrack into it now. And X-Men Days of Future Past, loved that film. I thought finally someone's done a good X-Men film. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all the X-Men films, even some of the the abortion of X-Men films, like Last Stand or Wolverine Origins. But I might be hung, drawn and quartered for saying this. I didn't mind Wolverine Origins. I mean, it was completely its own. What's it called? Headcanon, is it? Where you sort of make up your own story. I think someone told me that once. I can't remember. Something to do with a canon. I don't know. But it went out on its own. It was completely reckless, and obviously it destroyed Deadpool. And I agree with that. That was awful what they did with Deadpool. But I honestly didn't mind the Wolverine Origins film. It was a bit boring, but it was an alright film. I still think it was better than Last Stand. But, no, Days of Future Past, I loved it, and obviously I'm not going to ruin anything for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I think the ending of Days of Future Past was just fantastic. Obviously, I can't go into too much detail, because if you haven't seen the film, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it just kind of, you can pretty see where I'm going with this, but if you didn't like any of the previous films, the way X-Men Days of Future Past went and finished, and basically the whole underlining of the film made those films better in a way, because I now don't dislike Last Stand or Origins, because obviously not trying to give anything away, Last Stand has now made those films okay. If that makes any sense. It's I don't obviously, some of you probably clocked on with what I'm trying to say, and hopefully those of you who haven't seen the film don't understand what I'm saying, because I don't want to ruin it for you. But yeah, the way that film went and the way it ended, I felt made those films okay now. But anyway, I don't want to go into it too much because it'll probably ruin it for some people. And of course, you got to love Tyrion being Boulevard Trask. That was just awesome. Shows he can act outside of Game of Thrones, which is always good to see. But anyway, let's get on with some of the questions. I mean, I've already 5 minutes into this and I haven't actually answered your questions yet. Before I answer any of the questions on last time's Captain's Quarters, I actually want to go through and answer a few of the questions on some of my Amazing Spider-Man videos, just because there's quite a few questions asked and I haven't answered any of them in person because I am lazy. So I just want to, just one or two, just a few that stuck out in my head and I wanted to give answers, because I figured there was probably quite a few other people that were wondering the same thing as well. So number one was from Charles Taylor Coe. Said, "Great vids, Cap. Are you still doing a walkthrough of Lego Marvel?" Yes, I will be. As a matter of fact, while recording the Amazing Spider-Man 2 walkthrough, I'm actually playing Lego Marvel now. I'm finally sitting down and playing that game. I've just finished the X-Men base, which I love it. I love how many characters they're putting in this game. It's finally a game that you can play as Cyclops or Beast. I mean, it's about damn time. I think you had, was it? It's right behind me. What's the game called? X-Men Legends. You could play as them. And there's a few other games that are slipping my mind right now. I know someone's going to list off a whole chunk of games that you can play as them too, but the amount of games where they don't let you play as Cyclops infuriates me. But yes, I'm playing through Lego Marvel now. It looks like it's going to be a huge game, and I will be referring to it as Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 from now on. But because that's pretty much what it is. Which that's not a bad thing. I'm very much happy about that. I'm glad it's like that. But yeah, definitely, it'll probably be the next one after Amazing Spider-Man. Actually, I can almost guarantee it'll be the next one after Amazing Spider-Man. So yes, good news on that. We also had one from Yusuf Yasir. Said, "I like how Spidey's costumes are based on comics Peter read." Yeah, I think that's kind of a nice way of throwing them in there. Also, how did I unlock the black suit and the noir suit? Because I had all the suits that you have shown at the beginning of the game, except for those two. And there's also a few other people like Benjamin Stiglitz, who also asked, how do you get the black suit? That was because one of you guys, it might have actually been you, Yusuf, it might have actually been you, sent me a message the day before the game come out. No, it can't have been you, you'd know this. It can't have been you, can it? But someone sent me a message just before the game come out, saying if I pre-order the Spider-Man game, I can get like 5 extra costumes. I don't know why I butchered that so much. Yeah, basically, if you pre-order the game, there's 5 extra costumes you get for it. So at this point, I don't know, unless you can find a friend who pre-ordered it and didn't cash in the code, which would make no sense, or maybe they would release them as DLC later on. I don't know, but yeah, as far as I know, the only way to get them is pre-ordering the game. So unfortunately, I'm not sure if there's a way of getting them now. But yeah, was it the Iron Spider, Noir, the Black Suit, Cosmic Spider? I think it was just them 3. I don't know if the Vigilante one was there anyway, or maybe I'm forgetting another one. Who knows? But yeah, they came as DLCs. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a way of getting them now. So sorry, buddy. There's one other question here. Ah, yeah, from Seb Carrasco. Said, awesome. I'm curious though, since this seems to be the main walkthrough that I'm doing at the moment, how come I'm not uploading videos every day and I'm just doing them every other day? The reason why that is because, on the whole, I always upload my walkthroughs every other day just to spread them out a bit and just so I can have time to get the entire walkthrough recorded, especially on games like Spider-Man and like X-Men games and stuff like that, which are a bit shorter. I normally upload them every other day, so I have time to actually record the whole walkthrough without the videos catching up on myself, because obviously if I get preoccupied doing other stuff for a week straight, then obviously all my videos are going to catch up on me and then you guys have to wait for ages. And you know that I like, from the second I upload one video, I like it to be a nice steady stream. I don't like there being huge breaks in the middle. Fallout New Vegas. But yeah, so I normally upload videos every other day, and that's regardless if there's another walkthrough playing at the same time. Like, for example, if I was to start Lego Marvel / Ultimate Alliance 3 now, then it would be Spider-Man, Lego, Spider-Man, Lego. But since how it's just one walkthrough, it's still going to be every other day. The only walkthrough I uploaded every day was Mass Effect, and that was because that game is just so huge. I mean, uploading every day, it still took a couple of months to get through each game. So it's the only reason I uploaded that every day. Otherwise, I always try and keep my uploads every other day, just so I don't catch up on myself, and just so you guys don't have to wait for ages for each video. And then that way I can be more relaxed when recording, thus better videos, thus happier yous. So yeah, it's kind of a long-winded answer, but that's basically the way I do it. When I start Lego Marvel though, because that looks like that's going to be a very long game as well, I might start uploading that every day. Who knows, but possibility. And also you asked about X-Men Days of Future Past, and as I said, awesome film. But with that said, with that done and dusted, let's go through and actually start answering some of the questions from the Captain's Quarters. Oh, take a drink before I do. The first one goes from Arkham News Base. It says, "Hello Cap, loving the Origins walkthrough. Are you going to play Arkham Origins Blackgate?" Wow, it shows you how long it's been since I last did the Captain's Quarters. It's a question being asked about Arkham Origins. Yeah, I started recording The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and started uploading them, and then after I think the first or second episode went live, I completely forgot that I never really finished rounding off Arkham Origins. There was still a few things I had to do, like rounding up the last Black Mask canister, and I think there's a few other side missions that pop up at the end of the game. I think there's one to do with what's his name, Gordon. I think one pops up about him as well. And then of course there was the 2 bits of DLC released as well, so which I haven't actually played yet. But yeah, I totally forgot that I never went back and done that. So I don't know, to be honest with you. Not now, but maybe, yeah, we'll tell you what, maybe that's what I'll do when Amazing Spider-Man finishes. I'll start doing Lego Marvel, and then while that's going up every single day, I might just finish off the last bits of Origins in between. Maybe. I don't know, don't hold me to that. I honestly totally forgot about Batman. I had so much time off just trying to get my work done. When I came back, I had started something new and completely forgot that there was a few little things I can do on Origins still. So yeah, maybe I'll, especially if Arkham Knight, when Arkham Knight comes out, obviously I don't have to get myself a next-gen console to play that. So I doubt I'll play on PC. My PC skills aren't that great. So yeah, I'll maybe, as long as I get it done before Arkham Knight comes out, probably at some point. But right now, I think there's a few other things I want to do. Next question is from AJ Singh. Did you watch... Well, this one looks like it's going to be a long question. Okay, doing one at a time. Did you watch WrestleMania 30, and what did you think of the streak coming to the end? Yes, I did actually watch WrestleMania 30. I don't really watch that much wrestling anymore. Not half as much as I did when I was younger. But I try and catch the big ones if I can. The bar that my girlfriend works at, they actually show wrestling. And obviously in England, it means it has to be open till like 4 or 5 in the morning, especially for WrestleMania. But, so it's normally empty as well. So I'm sitting there with a big screen, pints being served to my table just for myself. So it's kind of nice. It's like my own personal theatre with beer. But yes, I did watch WrestleMania 30. It was actually quite good. I think it was, I don't know if it was WrestleMania 29 or if it was just the last pay-per-view I saw. I can't remember. But I didn't enjoy it. I thought it was really bad. But WrestleMania 30, I actually quite enjoyed. I enjoyed some of the matches. I think some of the matches they actually shortened because, like the, was it the tag match with Kane? Who was it? Kane? Oh, I forgot who was it. Oh yeah, it was Kane and I think Shield, wasn't it? No, New Age Outlaws and Kane versus Shield. That one, I think that one was shortened because it was obviously a very short match. But I remember hearing it wasn't supposed to be that short. It was because the Triple H Daniel Bryan one overrun, I remember hearing. But I personally liked the pay-per-view. I thought it was entertaining. And the streak coming towards the end, I think your picture, your user picture sums it up perfectly. That guy's face in the crowd was just comical. I think his face just displayed what everyone was thinking. Just pure disbelief. There was a lot of rumours going around that the match wasn't actually supposed to end that way. The Undertaker was supposed to kick out. And I mean, it's believable because Undertaker was clearly lagging as that match was going on. I mean, at one point he picks up Brock Lesnar to go for the tombstone. He doesn't get Lesnar's feet in position around his head. He doesn't drop him and then lay him down like he normally does. He just kind of like lets Lesnar fall off him. It was more like a pump-handled slam than it was a tombstone. Undertaker just looked like he was dying, and bless him, the poor bloke. I mean, he's been going at this for so long now. I think it's time for him to hang it up, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, the guy's gone on forever. He's a living legend, but there comes a time when you need to give it up, and not in a bad way, but I think he's met his. He can go out with some dignity, and so there's a lot of reason to believe that maybe he wasn't supposed to lose, because the music didn't play straight away. Everyone, including Paul Heyman, looked genuinely shocked. Sorry, I'm just looking at your user picture right now. It's just cracking me up. But yeah, the music didn't play. Heyman looked shocked. Lesnar looked shocked. I think if Undertaker was conscious, he would have looked shocked. But no, I personally believe it was supposed to end. They just did stuff like not playing the music, I think, to drive in the fact that this has happened. You know, that something big has happened. But it had to end sometime. I think on a personal level, I think Undertaker wanted to lose it to someone like Brock Lesnar. From a story point of view, it kind of makes no sense. You would have thought it'd be like a Shawn Michaels. A Shawn Michaels? Who's a Shawn Michaels? You would have thought it'd be like a Shawn Michaels or a Triple H or, God forbid, John Cena. You would figure it'd be someone like that. But I think on a personal level, Undertaker wanted to lose it to Brock Lesnar, just on the skill level and such like that. And plus, it ended at WrestleMania 30, so it's like a big number. You always know something big's normally going to happen when you get to a 10, a 20, a 30, so yeah, I mean, all good things have to come to an end, I guess. Suppose it's not really my thoughts on it, but yeah. What will your next walkthrough be? Well, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, Lego Marvel, and maybe I'll sprinkle in the endings of Arkham, some of the DLC of Arkham Origins. Although, to be honest, I'm really dried out on Batman right now. I don't think I could play it with any enthusiasm at this moment. I've just been playing Batman for so goddamn long. It's probably why I'm enjoying Spider-Man so much, because it feels like something new. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, Lego Marvel, then after that, I don't know. World's my oyster, I guess. There's plenty of games that I've got on the back burner, but I haven't got them really in any order. What do you think of The Walking Dead 2, the game, and have you played it, and what is it like if you have played it? I haven't played it, and I've purposely not watched any trailers or anything for it. I know of a few characters that are going to be in it, because they got spoiled for me. But no, I purposely haven't been watching any of it, because I do still plan on playing 400 Days and Season 2 of Walking Dead. Obviously, haven't got around to it yet. I need to get some. I'll probably buy that when I get myself some new recording equipment for my PC, so I can carry on the walkthrough. But no, I haven't played it yet, but I've purposely been avoiding everything to do with it, so I don't have it spoiled for me. I think games like that, you need to go in blind. You need to know absolutely nothing that's going to happen. It just makes the game far more enjoyable. In Batman Arkham City, have you been in Scarecrow's secret room? It's by the docks by the industrial district on a boat with a Falcone name on it. If so, what do you think of it? Yes, I did go in that. Before I start, way back before I started the walkthrough. Oh wait, Arkham City? I don't know. I think I have. I remember going in a Scarecrow's secret room. I could have swore it was in Origins, but maybe I did it in City. But either way, way back when, I remember doing something like that. So I remember I was sitting there one evening and I wanted to see how much I could get done in that game just on my own. So I went online, just looked at all the cheat sheets and just tried to find every secret, because I'd got to a point where I pretty much done the game, and I just wanted to, before I stopped playing the game, I wanted to see all the Easter eggs and make sure I weren't missing anything. So yeah, I'm pretty certain I have gone inside Scarecrow's secret room, although unfortunately I can't really remember much about it, so I can't really tell you what I think about it. But oh, sorry about that, I just choked a little bit. It was such a mouthful, those questions. Alexander said, will you be doing a walkthrough of Amazing Spider-Man 2? Oh, yep. That one, I suppose, has answered itself. Peter Moore, if you could have any two of Batman's gadgets from any of the 3 Arkham games, which one would they be and why? See, now you think about this one, my instinct, my straight away instinct reaction went to glue grenade or the ice grenades. But they're fun in the game. How practical would they be in real life, you know? It would have to be. Do you know what? Actually, I don't know if this technically counts as a gadget, but I want Batman's cowl with the whole detective vision. If that worked in real life like it does in the games, man, that thing would come in handy. That thing would, yeah, Batman's cowl. That's one of the things I'm using. Huh. No. I was going to say he's a utility belt, because then that means it has all these gadgets. That's a bit of a dud answer. That would be like you saying you have 3 wishes and you wish for unlimited wishes, really. Yeah, Batman's cowl, and... God, I'm going to forget so many cool gadgets now, aren't I? Yeah, the glue grenade, why not? I would use the ice... Yeah, ice grenade, actually. I would say glue grenade, but I like ice. I like ice, man. So, yeah, the ice grenade, just because they're fun. Just to chuck them at people. And Batman's cowl, because that thing will just be awesome. Ethan Brown said, New Vegas. Just saying, Cap, New Vegas. Do it! Ethan, please, let me sleep. I feel guilty enough as it is. No, I'm being deadly serious, Ethan. This summer, it might happen. It might happen. It's one of also the reasons why I'm still uploading my videos every day instead of every other day instead of every day, because in that way it gives me more time. Once I finish recording Amazing Spider-Man 2, that gives me loads of more time before the next walkthrough starts. So I don't know. I'm still chilling out after all that work at the uni, but if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be this summer. Do you know, I can't begin to tell you how happy I'm gonna be when I finish that walkthrough. My lord. I think I might have to do a face reveal at the end of that walkthrough just to emphasise how happy I am. Don't say that, Dave. I'll never hear the end of it. Donald Dimmick said, do you think they should make a Mortal Kombat movie? Didn't they do something like that on, was it Machinima? Well, obviously it wasn't a movie, but it was like a TV series kind of thing, a YouTube series, I guess you'd call it. But they did something like that on Machinima once before, and I remember thinking it was actually quite good. For something that I thought was going to be like some D or E list actors, it was actually not that bad. What Mortal Kombat character do you think best describes you? Do you watch Screw Attack Death Battles? What would you have as a death battle? Unfortunately, other than playing it once or twice around a friend's house, I don't really know Mortal Kombat that well. So, what Mortal Kombat character? I don't know the characters, so I can only really base them off their abilities, and even then, I only really know Scorpion, that guy with all the arms, and the ice dude, so Sub-Zero. So yeah, I'm going to go Sub-Zero. I don't know anything about the character, I just think ice abilities are cool. So that's what I'm going with. And I don't even know what Screw Attack is, so... Sorry, Donald, unfortunately I can't really answer your questions that well. Jedi Coon said, hi Dave, have you seen the newer Captain America film? It's amazing. Yes! I actually really... I don't know if I've talked about this before, actually. But I really loved the Captain America film. So as you've heard me say before, I thought the first Captain America film was alright. It was a good film in its own right, but I felt like the only reason they made it was like a prelude to the Avengers, because they'd made a film about every other Avenger, and they just needed to make one about Captain America so they can make the Avengers. That's the feeling and the impression I got from the first Captain America film. And I felt like they were also trying to say, hey guys, there's also Captain America, so they can make the Avengers, because obviously if they made the Avengers without a Captain America film first, everyone would have been like, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, who's that? So I felt like they had to, because obviously for those who read comics, everyone knows Captain America is, but those who only got into superhero sort of stuff because of the Iron Man franchise and then Thor and Spider-Man and all that sort of stuff, they obviously wouldn't really know that much about Captain America, and so I felt like the first film was kind of just like a prelude. They were kind of just saying, hey, here's Capman, everyone loves him, he's also an Avenger. That kind of, for me, kind of summed up the first film. And that's not me mocking the first film, I did enjoy it, I really did. But the second Captain America film, I thoroughly enjoyed. I watched that film and I had a good time. I liked that film. I thought it was very good. Obviously they had to make the first one to show how we got to the modern day, but I liked the second Captain America film as much as I liked the 4 films or the early Iron Man films, or like Spider-Man, stuff like that. I liked it on par. Avengers, I liked it on par with the rest of them. So yeah, I very much enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I like Falcon as well. I knew only little bits about Falcon. Only when Falcon really appeared in major like comic book events. That was the only time I really knew of Falcon, like Civil War, stuff like that. So I didn't really know much about him, so I liked his character in this. And what I love most is, nobody's really asked me this question before, and I've just realised, what I love most is how Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. always responds to what happens in the films. Like after Thor Dark World, They were on cleanup. They were cleaning up everything that happened, and they were finding like Asgardian relics and stuff like that on Earth, and it became a pivotal part of their story. And and something they did. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to try and ruin it for you. But the outcome of Captain America Winter Soldier had a huge impact on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because obviously if you've seen the end of Captain America, you know what happens with regards to S.H.I.E.L.D. So it's like, if that happens to S.H.I.E.L.D., what's going to happen to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And it had such a great impact, it just kicked that TV show up a notch. And it was fantastic. And if you haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I definitely recommend watching it. I will be honest, it starts off quite lame. The first, I can't even remember how many episodes were not that good. They were, I don't know, I was really worried what they were going to do to it. But as it went on, I think they had to introduce you to a whole lot of stuff. But as it went on, it got really, really good. And as it goes on, you get major characters pop in it, like Lady Sif from Thor. She makes an appearance. Nick Fury, Maria Hill, and a few other like side agents in S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. They all make an appearance. So, and of course, Agent Coulson. So, but no, definitely give it a watch. That TV series was awesome. Anyway, I kind of gone on a bit of a sidetrack. So, another question also from Jedi Coon said, and do you think it's a stupid decision for Rocksteady to put Arkham Knight on only next gen? I think it's stupid as a majority of gamers, including me, can't afford a next-gen console and still have a 360 and PS3. No, I don't think it's a stupid decision, really. It sucks, because just like myself, I can't really afford to buy a next-gen console. I could if I actually knuckled down and I got a lot of work done, but I can't realistically afford to get one. I could if I like penny pinched a hell of a lot, but to be honest, they have to do it. Everyone said the same thing when they went from PlayStation to PlayStation 2. Except for then, you could still play PlayStation 1 games. But it's the same thing. Eventually, change has to happen. And there has to be a cut-off point where they say, right, we're only making this next-gen now. And we're not making it for both. Plus, because now everyone makes games for both. And then everyone complains that they're dropping the quality of the game down. So it can also be on like the 360 and the PS3. So then all those who have next-gen complain. So, unfortunately, there has to be a cut-off point. There would never be progression. I mean, what if DVDs were still produced on VHS? What if CDs were still produced on vinyl? Eventually there has to be a point where they say no and they just make it on next gen, and that's the point we're getting to now, unfortunately. I mean, how long have they been out now, next gen? Has it only been a couple of months, or has it been long? I think it might have been longer than that, actually. Time flies when I'm stuck in this room. So but no, unfortunately there has to be a cut-off point. You've just got to look at the positives. Yeah, we're going to have to get a next-gen console, but then that could potentially last us the next 5, 6, 7 years. Kind of like our 360s and our PS3s did. So it's not like we're going to have to buy another console next year and another one after that and another one after that. They'll probably try and peddle loads of add-on crap that we don't need. But it has to happen. Change has to happen, unfortunately. If everyone clings on to the past too much, then nothing new would ever happen. So it sucks, but change is change. Exo Guardian said, hey Cap, have you seen the new Captain America film? Yes, as I just said. If you have, what are your thoughts about it? I personally think it's not only a great movie, but it's so far my favourite Marvel superhero movie. What about you? What about your favourite Marvel superhero movie is? So yeah, I've already answered part of your question before, the Captain America thing. I can understand how a lot of people would say that's their favourite superhero movie. It was very good, and because Cap has a restricted skill set, so to say, it makes a lot of the things that happen a lot more intense, because it's not like he can just go, Jarvis, disable that, and it's done. You know, yes, he actually, yeah, he can jump around and hit people and whatever, but he still has to, there's a whole element of will he get there in time and stuff like that, so it's very good. But my favourite Marvel superhero movie, I don't know. To be honest, right now it's probably Days of Future Past. I loved that film. I thought that was awesome. But maybe Amazing Spider-Man 2 either. Honestly, this year has been strong for superhero movies. Winter Soldier, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and X-Men Days of Future Past have been 3 fantastic Marvel films. And I can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy. What's my favourite? I don't know. It's got to be one of the Spider-Mans or maybe one of the X-Men films. They would probably have to be one of my favourite films, because even with regards to comics, it's always Spider-Man or X-Men. So it would have to be one of them. Also, you asked, did you know that the part of that the part of the Omega DLC where you have to decide whether or not to hit the button and kill innocent civilians is just do it the hard way. Well, if you're an engineer, you can give it the Paragon option that lets you shut down the reactor immediately without killing civilians. Huh, that is pretty awesome. Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I didn't know that. I didn't. I wonder if that's something they've done throughout the whole game, or if that's the only situation where they did that. So basically, if you're the 5 other classes, you have to just constantly ignore the Renegade option and do it the hard way. But if you're the engineer, you can just straight away do it the Paragon way and like boss the system. That's pretty good. I didn't know that. See, that's why I love Mass Effect. Play the game 1,000 times, there's still stuff you miss. RC, oh my. RC Cuvas, is it Cuvas? Hopefully I haven't said that wrong. RC Cuvas said, have you ever heard of a game called Jack 3, and if so, would you play it? It sounds familiar, but I doubt I'll play it because I honestly have no idea what it is. But, no, so probably not, unfortunately, sorry. The Captain Junior said, Dave, this video made my day, and thank you. This video made my day, thank you, and get a Javik tattoo. Yeah. Sorry, this is running through my head, the different versions of a Javik tattoo I could get now. So I've got something to do with silly primitives or an airlock. It's got to be one of the two. Question 1. What if Javik came into the Mass Effect 1 universe? Yeah. What if Javik came into the Mass Effect universe during Mass Effect 1 instead of Mass Effect 3? It could potentially happen. Say like when they go to Ilos, say and they're talking to Vigil, and they're saying blah blah blah. We had to shut down all of the pods. Oh, but one survived, and then that could be Javik. That would be quite cool, and it would be interesting actually to see him throughout the entire game. But then he wouldn't have had a cause, because his whole cause was to shut down the Richters, like fight the Reapers. And in like the game, if you make him see the memory shard, he then wants to die once he defeats the Reapers. He said he's going to join the rest of his people and kill himself. So it makes you think that if you had woken him up in Mass Effect 1, he would stop Saren and Sovereign, and then after that he'd have no reason really to go on. So would he even make it to Mass Effect 3? Would he end his own life? Or then you could say that you're okay, it would have been 2 years, because obviously then Commander Shepard at the start of Mass Effect 1 dies, 2 years later gets brought back. Would Javik have ended his own life in between that time? Who knows? But I'd like to think that would be really cool if Javik came in Mass Effect 1 in Ilos, and then you recruit him in Mass Effect 2, because maybe he needs a mission because his life has like no purpose now or something. He becomes that mad priest, the mad prophet in Omega. It's not the Batarian, it's now Javik. The Reapers will come. Silly primitive. But yeah, that'd be cool. And then Shepard finds him. He's like, okay, well, I'll give you purpose. Come with me to the Omega 4 relay. And then after that, it's like 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Then the Reaper's here. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be on board with that. Javik's a character that I could have as a permanent squad mate through all 3 games. He can withstand Javik. Also, the Captain Junior asked, oh, and I stopped recording for a while. Then I went and saw your Mass Effect videos, and now I'm recording more than I was last time. So thanks, dude. Oh, you're more than welcome. The more I can inspire, the better, I guess. Mega Silver 117 said, Dave, are you ever going to get an X-Man or Fantastic Four tattoo? Yes, actually. When I first got my Spider-Man one, my goal straight away was to get an X-Men one. I was planning on... and by the way, if I ever see this now on the internet, I know someone's ripped off my idea. But what I was going to get was a sleeve, just much like my Spider-Man one is, but on the other arm. And it was going to get loads of the X-Men, like some of them in the middle, some of them jumping to the left, some of them jumping to the right, blah, 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 blah. As many X-Men as I could get on there of the ones I actually like Cyclops, Iceman, stuff like that. And then what I was going to do is have Cyclops' face right at the very bottom, looking up, and having his beam shooting up through the middle of all of them. But where his beam shooting up, that's all just the colour of my skin. So I was going to have it black and white, just like my Spider-Man one was. And where I've done the webbing on my Spider-Man one, this is the normal skin tone. I was going to have his beam shooting up the middle as normal skin tone again. And then maybe like Storm's electric shooting out. That also being skin tone, just to break up all the black and stuff like that. But that was one of my original ideas, but that was a good couple of years ago. And I've been skin ever since then. So I've never really been able to afford one. But hey, I've got my whole life to get a tattoo, so... possibly, I've never really thought about getting a Fantastic Four. I did enjoy the comics, but not that much. Not enough to get a tattoo. Been saying that, since playing Mass Effect, I've been tempted to get like an N7 tattoo or something like that. Been very, very tempted. I mean, it's small. It's affordable. But no, yeah, I did have big ideas to get an X-Men one. I was actually just saying to my girlfriend today, actually, that if I love my Spider-Man tattoo, but if I'd given it more thought, I would have got something quite similar to the one that I was just saying about the X-Men one. I would have got like maybe Spider-Man in the middle, jumping forwards, and then having all his enemies like surrounding him, or something like that, with like maybe some of his allies at the bottom. Or I like just the thoughts of, I like the tattoos where they've got quite a lot going on, not too much that kind of blinds you, but it's I just hate plain boring ones where clearly no thought has gone into it. It's just like, what have you got? Oh, I've got a recycled image I found on the internet. But yeah, no, he's definitely, actually, the X-Men one was definitely something I wanted to get at one point. Blast Eye Studio said, Dave, do you find it weird that actors are going to play Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, whose characters are brothers and sisters, are also in the film where they play a married couple? Not that really. I can see how it would be weird. But, no, it's professionals. I mean, it would be kind of weird if they were actually going out in real life and they were playing brother and sister. I could see how maybe that would make things awkward in the boudoir. But no, they're actors. Other than for a few hours behind a camera, they spend the rest of their lives just knowing each other as whatever their real names are as well. So, but yeah, did I hear right? The Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are going to be in the new Avengers film. Did I hear that right? Because I think it's also kind of weird that Quicksilver was in Days of Future Past as well. I don't think it's even the same actor, is it? Oh, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've looked into any of this stuff. I think I'm getting my facts confused. But I'll tell you what is weird. There was... what's her name? Joe, I'm going to look it up now because it's going to bug me if I don't. But... there was an actress who were brother and sister in real life, and they both starred in a film where they had to kiss, and like proper full-on kiss, with tongues and everything. And now that is weird because they're actually brother and sister in real life, and then they had to do intimate scenes. So I think that would be a little bit more awkward. What's the actress's name? Alexandria Caroline. Yeah, that's her name. Her and her brother in real life were both starred in a film together where they played a couple and they had to kiss, and I think that is the epitome of awkward. Not only are you kissing a family member quite intimately, which is just all kinds of creepy, but you've got a whole crew watching you and recorded evidence of said event. And I've never seen the film, so it can't have been that great either. So, man, that's just wasted creepiness. Anyway, oh, good lord. Yusuf, you asked so many questions in this one. Right. Number one, Yusuf is here, said, what's up, Dave? Easter holidays are here and I'm spending my 2 weeks holiday in Pakistan for a family wedding, meaning I'm going to miss a lot of Captain videos. Yo, man, this has been a long time ago since I've done one of these. I remember you writing this, and then I've also remember reading your email saying you've just got back from Pakistan. So this has been a long time since I've done one of these. Hang on a moment. Dave, why don't you work for BioWare but by playing, testing the games and showing the game? Also, did you see the Amazing Spider-Man game video I sent to you? Oh man, that would be a lovely job. I mean, if you know anyone at BioWare, get them to talk to me. That would just be allowed to be like a dream job. But yeah, I'd happily do that, but unfortunately, it's not a case of just you sort of go out in the world and say what job you want to do. There's a lot of hoops you have to jump through and a lot of stuff you've got to do to try and get a job. Especially these days, when you've got 1,000 people gunning for the same job that you want. But now I'm definitely working towards that sort of thing. It's just going to take time. It'd be awesome if I could just send them a letter and they'd go, okay. That would be lovely, but fortunately these sort of things take time. Next question was, Dave, I won't say you look 32, I'll say you look 22 if that makes you happy. Now that is why I read out your questions. Right there. The annoying thing is 22 is actually closer to my age as well. It just so happened last night, that same thing happened. I was with 2 other people and they said I was the oldest, when in fact I was the youngest. Damn my face. Kids, seriously, have a healthy lifestyle. Eat your vegetables, eat your vitamins, get a lot of sleep and say your prayers. Just listen to Hulk Hogan. Whatever he says, do it, and then you'll be healthier. Where have we got next? Coral Kobrak. Awesome name, by the way. Coral Kobrak said, hey Dave, if you are thinking of playing Dragon Age, don't do it. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just that Skyrim is so much better. Believe me, even if you're not into this kind of games, it's still one of the best RPGs ever made, if not the best one. Also, the game I mentioned in the last episode is not called Papers, but instead Papers, Please. It's simple and leads to fun. Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, the whole thought I had of playing Dragon Age just kind of disappeared. Not because I don't want to play it, it's just because I was still coming off the Mass Effect hype. But since playing Amazing Spider-Man, I want to get back to playing a lot of this. Oh, sorry, I'm dying. My throat is just so sore today. I want to get back to playing a lot of the sort of more simple games like Marvel Lego and Amazing Spider-Man, stuff like that. But I don't. It's not because like playing Dragon Age. It's not necessarily because it's that kind of game and it's that sort of what can you say, that sort of era. Really, it's not because of that. And I do have Skyrim, and I spent a lot of it just sitting in rivers and looking at the scenery because the game is just so damn pretty. But it's nothing to do with that. It's just I don't know. I've seen a lot of on Dragon Age, and I like the whole. It's the fact you can have squad mates. That's one of the main things I loved about Mass Effect, and also you can do the same thing in Dragon Age. And the fact it's made by the same people who made Mass Effect is a big tick in the win column for me. But as I'm thinking about it, as time goes on, I'm thinking about it less and less. But if I am to play a game, it'll probably be something like Dragon Age. Skyrim, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it. I never completed it. I spent so much time doing side quests and just genuinely looking around. I think I just met the Greybeards when I finished playing that game. When I got distracted and started doing other stuff. But another game I've always meant to go back to and finish. But Skyrim is without a doubt a very beautiful game and a very good game. But I don't know, I think I'm more interested in playing Dragon Age as a walkthrough than I would be of Skyrim. But who knows, this seems like stuff that's going to be very far in the future anyway, because none of that is on the agenda right now. Josh Finn said, tips for your Sentinel. For your bonus power, pick Barrier as tech armor, plus Barrier, Shepard is invincible. Do you know what, I thought about doing that. I haven't actually, speaking of, by the way, I haven't played Mass Effect 2 in quite a while, because I've been playing Amazing Spider-Man and Lego. I haven't played Mass Effect 2 in quite a while, but I thought about that when it said bonus power. I looked at Barrier and I thought, well, hang on, I've got tech armor, so I won't need Barrier. And the thought crossed my mind, especially if I'm on Insanity, having tech and a Barrier would pretty much make you invincible. That thought did actually cross my mind, but in the end I went with Warp Ammo, actually. Not because I thought it was going to be great or anything like that, it's just because since I was just playing for myself, I wanted to try new things. I was trying to pick things I wouldn't normally pick. And also I figured to myself, if I'm a tech heavy character, I wanted to have some what's it called? Can't think of the name. Biotics. I wanted to have at least some biotics, and I figured you shoot your gun all the time. So sticking some biotics around every single bullet's definitely going to help. I figured I had a lot of tech to take down armor. I wanted some take down shields. I wanted something to take down armor as well. So, but no, the thought of tech armor and Barrier definitely crossed my mind. You would literally be like the Iron Man of Shepards. But Mr. Candyman13 said, Spider Dave, how are things with you? They're very dandy now, actually, mate. Things are a breeze right now. I'm loving it. Hope the weather is better. It's funny you say that. Hope the weather is better now that spring is coming around the corner. Well, as we're recording this, I think we're coming full swing into summer now. What's this? June 8th? Must be summer by now, right? It definitely feels like summer because right now I'm sweating my tits off. It is so hot here right now. It's just humid. It feels like you're in one of those reptile enclosures. It's so hot here. My question for you at this time is, what is your favourite costume in the Spider-Man series going back to your Amazing Spider-Man playthrough? If you're talking about the Amazing Spider-Man 1 game, it's probably the Future Foundation costume. I love that costume. I went back and someone wrote a comment on my How to Unlock the Costumes video. I went back and gave it a look. And I just went through, just flicked to see what costumes they had. And by the way, I like the costumes they have in Amazing Spider-Man 2, like the variety. I like them a lot more. But in Amazing Spider-Man 1, I love the Future Foundation costume, and they don't have that in Amazing Spider-Man 2, which really, really gutted me. I loved it, just the black and white suit when he took Johnny Storm's place in the Fantastic Four. I loved it. So it's a shame they didn't have it. And also, here's a Mass Effect question. Is there a part in the series where you can relate to your own life. Example, in ME2, you took us to Tally's loyalty mission, and Zen was talking about controlling the Reapers, which can be related to rebellion of children. Oh yeah, I think I remember that. I don't know, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, because obviously it's such a vast and different universe to the one we live in. It's kind of hard to pinpoint a bit. I think, to be honest, any point in the universe you can relate to something that would happen in real life. You just have to take certain variables and switch it with something else. To say, like, you could say the war between the Geth and the Quarians, you could quite easily just look as you could relate that in a certain extent. Obviously, you'd have to take out some factors, like the fact that the Geth made the Quarians. But you could look at that as some. Oh, sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought. Yeah, you could look at it like the way that some very naive people look at other countries, and especially like the Middle East and stuff like that, where they just like blind hatred just because they don't understand. It's not the same culture that they have, and it's not the same views and opinions they have. So that automatically means that it's wrong, and that's not true. And you can kind of take that over into that context as well, because the Geth, the Quarians straight up hate the Geth. They think the Geth are evil and the Geth are going to do this just because a few rogue factions of the Geth have done bad things. Well, that doesn't inherently make all Geth bad. And then of course you learn about the Geth and you realise that they actually don't want to fight. They don't want a war. They don't want trouble. They just kind of want to live in peace. And it's actually the Quarians that are starting all the fighting. And you can kind of, in a way, relate that to real life, with sort of Western society, like England, America stuff, being the Quarians, and the Geth being anyone that seems to get picked on by us, really. It's kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to completely, someone give me a shovel, I think I've just dug a massive hole here. But I'm not trying to say that's exactly how it is. Obviously, there's so many sides to it. It's just one opinion. I couldn't just talk about it in this video here, but you could relate anything to it like that. That's what I'm trying to get at. You could take anything, like maybe like the Krogan and stuff like that. Actually, maybe that'd be more relatable. Two higher powers being the Turians and Salarians trying to knock down another species, or in our case, another country, because they're getting too big for their boots, and basically because they're worried about what's going to happen to them, so they try and stop someone else from reaching their level. I mean, you could take a lot of situations like that over. I wouldn't be able to pick one, and to be honest, I don't really want to pick one, because it seems like I'm digging myself a massive hole right now. And last question from Mr. Candyman said, also, is there a career you cannot see yourself doing? Oh, there are plenty of careers I cannot see myself doing. I've had many, many jobs in my lifetime. I've been a salesman. I've been a window fitter. That was horrible. I'm scared of heights. And 5:30 in the morning, it was snowing, and I'm up the ladder. And then a Razorlight song comes on saying "When I Fall to Pieces," and at that moment I was like, "I'm done. I'm out this job. I'm over. I'm over this." But yeah, car washing, window fitting, salesman, barman, many times, healthcare assistant, student nurse. Now I'm in the games industry, and there's other jobs. I sold sofas for a while, paper round. So many jobs. A labourer on the building site. That was fun. Sarcasm noted there. But no, there's plenty of careers I cannot see myself doing. And right now, if it doesn't involve the game industry or the film industry, I don't want to do it. I've got to the point where I've done enough jobs, I've experienced enough stuff now that I know what I want and I know what I don't want. And there's a lot more things I don't want than what I do want. But anywho, Alexander said, "Hey Dave, did you hear about the release of Justice League United, where the Justice League moves to Canada and has their base in Toronto?" No, I haven't heard anything about that. But as I say, I don't really read much DC. Well, I don't read any DC, so not the sort of thing I'd hear about, unfortunately. Josh Jenks said, "Hi Dave, so have you seen The Amazing Spider-Man 2 yet?" Oh, dating myself here. I saw it last night and wow, I loved it so much. It's amazing, no pun intended. Plus the goblin at the end, yeah. Well, looks like you were right. It looked awesome, and it is awesome. So, Avengers Assemble 95 said, "Hi Dave, just wondering if you could travel anywhere in the world. Where would you go and why?" I would go to New York. It's it's weird. I do not like sightseeing. I don't get it, to be honest. I've been quite fortunate that when I was younger, my parents took me to quite a few places around the world: Italy, Holland, France. I've been Turkey, Greece, Andorra. few other places I'm forgetting. I've been quite lucky. Nowhere like extremely exotic. Nowhere like not like an Egypt or an Africa or somewhere like that. But just I've been abroad, and so I've been quite fortunate that my parents took me to quite a few places when I was younger, and I've been sightseeing, and the whole time I thought to myself was that it sounds so naive of me. Not naive. What's the word? I don't know. I can't think of the word, but I just didn't care. I just really didn't care. I'd look at something and go, oh, look, it's a dusty old building. Why is that any different from the building next to it? I was like, yeah, it was built 200 years ago by some blind men who built it with their toes and butt cheeks. It's like fantastic, but I don't know. I see sights and I think they look good and I think they look beautiful, but I just could not care less. And the reason why I want to go to New York is because everything there I want to see. I would just be like a kid in the candy store in New York. I happily just go somewhere and just look at it. And just look at all the buildings, look at Madison Square Garden, just look at everything there. I can't even begin to list all the things I want to go see there. It's just so many things I'd love to see. I mean, I want to go to America anyway, but if I'm getting to pick anywhere in the world, I can just like teleport there. Then New York, it's just always have done, always wanted to. That and Toronto. Don't know why, I just always wanted to go there as well. There's nothing there particularly I want to see. I just want to be able to say I've been to Toronto. But yeah, no, New York just always has. Can't really put my finger on why. Probably because, in fairness, everything I've ever watched or played or done growing up has involved New York somehow. So that's probably why. In fairness, it's probably just because I've grew up watching TV and films. But I don't know. I see a big dusty pyramid and I couldn't care less. To be honest with you, I'm like, that's awesome. It looks just like it did in the picture I saw. But New York, I just want to be there. I just want to be able to say I'm there and just stand there. So, don't know why, I just do. Probably people who live in New York are thinking, what's the fuss? But, hey, it's where I want to go. Also, what are your thoughts on Arkham Knight villain in the upcoming Batman game? Thanks. I'm not actually sure. I think someone mentioned to me it was Harley Quinn, or am I getting that wrong? No, it's a new villain, isn't it? Man, I should really do some research before I do these things. But yeah, I think it's a new villain that's created just for Arkham. Yes, it's just created for Arkham Knight, and it's actually called like the Knight or the Arkham Knight or something like that. Again, I have absolutely no idea about the new Batman game. Kind of like with The Walking Dead, I'm just not looking into it at all. And then that way, when I get the game, everything will be brand new and everything will be a surprise. Unless, of course, you guys tell me stuff, and feel free. I'm not trying to not find anything out about Batman. Walking Dead I want to be kept a secret, but Arkham Knight, if you want to tell me stuff, feel free. But no, I don't really know much about it at the moment. I'll sort of find out about it when I find out about it, really. Jim Jenks said, okay, so did you hear the awesome news that Venom and Carnage are in the new Spidey game? Oh yes, they are. They very much are. Wait, hang on, is Venom in it? I played this game several times and I'm forgetting. No, Venom isn't in it. Carnage is in it, but Venom isn't. It's going to be such a good day when that game came out. Oh yeah, it was definitely a good day. Lucas, holy lord, I'm going to ruin your name, Lucas. I'm very sorry. In fact, I'm just going to call you Lucas, and that way we can save both ourselves, mainly me, some embarrassment. Oh no, and even in your question, you're telling me how to pronounce your name. You're not going to let me get away with it. Dave, my last name is pronounced Bernashevitz. So Lucas Bernashevitz. There we go. I hope I haven't killed it too much that time. Can only apologise. It is just spelled very complicated, Dave. Are you going to watch the new X-Men Days of Future Past? Yes, I did, and yes, I loved it. And did I watch Man of Steel, and did I like it? Yes, I actually really liked Man of Steel. I think it's the only good Superman film. And Tommy at Geekspace will back that up with a passion. But yeah, I liked Man of Steel. I thought it was a very good film. And I'm one of those people that I can speak about. I feel like, it's what I feel like. You know when I say I watched Spider-Man and I've read all the comics, so I know a lot of the backstory, so even though they don't follow it, I like the new twist they put on it. Well, Man of Steel and all DC films, I'm like the people who know nothing about Marvel. So when I watch that, I'm just watching it for what it is. And I know a few things, like the iconic stuff about Superman, but I don't know any of the details, nothing in particular. Literally the only stuff I know about Superman is stuff I know from games, from films, or what people have told me, or from Smallville, which is obviously very, very, very different to the comics. It's completely separate. It might as well not. And that's why they probably didn't even reference Superman once in it. But no, I personally loved the film. And bear in mind, I didn't know much about it. I thought it was a very good film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Josh Jenks said, by the way, are you a Star Wars fan or watch the original movies, even 4, 5, and 6? If so, are you excited for the new one, and have you seen the new cast? I've seen the new cast, and is it literally everyone but Boba Fett? Am I correct in thinking that? It's just all the actors and actresses except Boba Fett. I think it's Boba Fett anyway. No, no, it wasn't Boba Fett. Oh, who is he? Oh, I know who it is. It's the one that... This is going to answer your previous question of, no, I haven't seen the Star Wars films. And yes, don't shoot me. I haven't seen them. I think I may have seen them as a kid. I can't really comment, to be honest with you. I remember seeing when they... I think it was 4. When they made like the first new one. The first new remake of it. And it wasn't really that impressive. But this will go to show that I don't really know much about Star Wars. The guy who I think hasn't been cast again, is he the one that was played by... oh God. Mort in the Family Guy version. Is it that actor? The actor who played the character that Mort's taken the piss out of in the Family Guy movie? Is that is that the one that hasn't been cast? And that goes to show you how little I know about Star Wars, because my only knowledge of Star Wars is through the Family Guy movie. So yeah, I'm still expecting that big snake monster thing to be Meg. Also, do you think a Star Wars game could work if made like the Mass Effect series? I'd personally love to see that. Well, it's kind of weird. The people who made Mass Effect made Knights of the Old Republic before they made Mass Effect, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, if they were to take on Star Wars, wait, what? Yeah, it was them. Oh God, I'm just getting everything mixed up today. I'm pretty certain it was them. Yeah, so it was BioWare. So yeah, I think if the only issue is, and the one thing that I remember listening to a panel of BioWare and the Mass Effect team saying they just finished Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, it must have been them. And they said that they were now going to start this new. They wanted what they loved. Yeah, and what they said was what they loved about Knights of the Old Republic was all this universe they got to create, but they already had a foundation. They already had a set, like they already had a history and a story to go from. And they said they wanted to make a sci-fi game where it was literally they could just go nuts and do whatever they wanted on, and they didn't have to constantly relate back to a thing. Like obviously they're making the Knights of the Old Republic, but obviously they already had certain type of aliens, certain types of spacecraft, certain types of weapons like lightsabers, Jedis, all that sort of stuff. That was already written, that was already done. They couldn't change from that, and that's why they like doing Mass Effect, because they could just make their own landscape. So I think they could do a Star Wars game like it, but the only thing is their hands would be tied to a certain extent, because it would have to still relate to the lore that has already been written in Star Wars. So they could do it and it would be good, but I don't think it would be as good as Mass Effect, because they'd still have to keep to the old laws and the old events that have already happened in the films and the games and stuff like that. So, Josh Jenks also asked, oh no, it's the same question, it just got repeated twice. I could answer it again for you, but then I'd be wasting time. Sergey Banarsi, hopefully I've said that right, said, hey Dave, how's it going? I'm getting stuck with school. Well, so was I when you wrote that question. So I didn't look much of your walkthrough, but anyway, how you're one of the 10 people that say my name good in the first try. Oh, well, I hope I said it good again that time. So you're not that terrible at reading. Oh, well, the way I just read your question, I think just begs to differ. But also, you'd like to see X-Men Legends 1 and 2. I have X-Men Legends 1 and 2, but unfortunately they don't work on the 360. They only work on the original Xbox that I have. But if you want to go and twist his arm for me, Tommy at Geekspace said he would lend me his old Xbox, and if so, I will very happily do a walkthrough of X-Men Legends 1 and 2. So he said he would give it to me, but feel free to go over to the Geekspace channel, which is linked on my channel, and twist his arm, just because it'd be funny. But and also, you also said Captain America Winter Soldier was awesome. Like if you've seen it. What do you think, Dave? Well, as I said previously, loved the film, thought it was fantastic, and I can see why a lot of people think it's their top Marvel film. Lucas, oh yeah, you're the guy I said that I was only going to call Lucas. I know you told me how to pronounce your name, but you know I'm going to get it wrong unless I have that new font. Oh, what's it called? Newthomic? I think my brain's just dying. It's too hot here. But anyway, Lucas said, I have a video called Top 5 Reasons That Spider-Man 3 Was Bad. I think that you would like it. Hey, probably would. Probably most people would like that. Spider-Man 3 was a bad film. Actually, in all fairness, a lot of these things on films on the internet get spun out of control. Spider-Man 3 was not a good film. But I don't think it was awful. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Spider-Man was slowly dying with each film that came out. I think Spider-Man 2 is still my favourite. But there was a lot of things that went wrong in Spider-Man 3. I mean, I'd still rather watch Spider-Man 3 over a lot of other films. But with regards to the other superhero films, I think Spider-Man 3 would be down there at the bottom. Starius Makudo said, hey, please forgive my little sister Arian for calling you old. I kind of agree though. Don't apologise for your little sister and then say you agree with her though. That's cold. That's like you lifted me up and then you just knocked me straight back down again, man. I'm gonna wait another month before I do one of these. Nah, don't worry. I don't mind. Don't worry. I'm only joking. Please play all the Assassin's Creed games. Please, 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 please do it. Sorry for annoying you. Now, you see, if you added one more please on the end of that, I might have done it. But no, I've had a lot of people ask me about Assassin's Creed games, and they look by all accounts great games, but it's just not my cup of tea. I'm just not that interested in playing them, to be honest. And if I did do a walkthrough, I can probably guarantee it wouldn't be that entertaining because you could tell that I'm not that interested in it. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll pick up the game and just get hooked on it. But right now, it's just not on the cards. It's just not on the cards at the moment. And very last question was Ben Bloom oh my lord, what is with my brain? Ben Bloom CDX. Thank God this is the last question because my brain's dying. I heard a rumour Aaron Cash is in Arkham Knight. What? That better not be true. That better not be true. You heard a rumour that Aaron Cash is in Arkham Knight. And also heard another rumour that they are making a Lego Marvel vs DC game. What is your thoughts? Well, you know what my thoughts on Aaron Cash are. So let's just lay that one where it is before I actually... He makes me so angry I'll die of heat stroke. But yeah, everyone knows what my thoughts on Aaron Cash are. So let's just leave him where he lies buried and chopped into pieces last time I met up with Aaron Cash. But thoughts on a Lego Marvel vs DC game? Now that actually I'd be interested in. Quite often people have said, you guys have asked me about what my thoughts on a Marvel vs DC game or a Marvel vs DC film, and quite often I've said that I'd play it, but I wouldn't have high hopes for it. I don't think it would be very good. I never think where universes like that would mix would ever be very good. Like Marvel vs Capcom, if that just wasn't a straight up fighter game, if that actually was like a platformer or it actually had some story to it, it would be terrible. But if it's obviously no backstory, it's just a straight up fighter, fair enough. But Lego Marvel vs DC, that is doable, I think, because Lego, their whole premise is comedy. Like every single game they make, they just poke fun at it, and that's the whole point of it being Lego. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be silly. So if they did a Lego Marvel vs DC, I think that would be doable, and that would actually be very good. Especially if they made it sort of like the... What do you think? In Lego Marvel, the sheer amount of characters that are in it, and how long that game looks. Imagine that twofold. All the Marvel characters, all the DC characters. Obviously they'd have to trim the fat a bit on the Marvel characters so they could fit in DC characters as well. Just think how many that would be. I'm quite surprised actually they haven't made a Lego DC, because I know they've made like Lego Batman, but after the success with Lego Marvel, it's kind of surprising that DC didn't approach them and say, hey, make a Lego DC as well. I mean, I'd definitely play that. But no, Lego Marvel vs DC, very doable, and I think would be very fun. That would be a great game. The way the Lego games do their comedy is just perfect. Actually, when I was at Comic-Con, I sat in on a panel for the Lego people, and they were talking about like the Lego Movie game, the Lego Hobbits game, and the Lego Marvel game. And the guy who did the Lego Marvel one, he was saying that he just kept including people to the point his boss had to go at him because they weren't finishing the game on time. Because every time he finished a character, he made another character and added him in, and added him another one in, and added another one in, and it was quite good. There's little things about that Lego Marvel game that just keep tickling me, like how Hulk can change into Bruce Banner. There's loads of little things I didn't know, like Spider-Man can change back into Peter Parker and stuff like that. But me and my girlfriend have been playing that recently. I've just been having hours of fun. It's just it's just too much fun running around New York. But yeah, no, Lego versus Marvel versus DC. Very much I would enjoy that. I think that would be a great game. I'd definitely pick it up. But with that being done and dusted, I think that is time to wrap up this one. Hour and 5 minutes into it, roughly. So yeah, it's been a good return to this, I think. But as it's quite evident, my brain is dying. So, and as always, guys, feel free if you want to answer any of the questions that I've answered. Feel free to answer them below in the comments, or if you have any questions that you want to ask me for next time's video, again, leave them in the comment section below. And hell, just tell me how you're doing. That's why I do these things. It's so I can talk to you guys and get a bit of a conversation going. If not, feel free to ask me questions over on the Facebook page. Yet again, another good place where you guys can just chat back and forth, and I can just intervene whenever I see fit. So, but with that done and dusted, I think I'm gonna go douse myself in water and lay naked somewhere. A beautiful thought. I'm sure you all can't wait to drill out of your heads. So I'm babbling like a monkey, so I'm going to catch you guys later. As always, my name's Captain Dave. This has been the Captain's Quarters, and I'll catch you guys later.